Okay, then it's recording. Then, hello everyone, and wishing you a wonderful Monday. And today I will be sharing with you what we learned on the call with Lisa Peppel, which is she's actually overseeing the development of Juice Plus. Then she is a food chemistry engineer, and she's a very smart girl, and she's really the main person as far as the developing new formulas, improving formulas, and so on. Then she is with Juice Plus company, I don't know how many years, I think at least 7 or 8 years. And there are great 2 videos with the Healthy Living Revolution, which I will be posting on our Facebook, in our Facebook group, where she talks about the product and quality of the product. Then, since there are some specific questions which we as the NMB, when we had NMB Summit, we asked if we can have this conversation with Lisa Peppel and asking questions which we are very often asked, not only from our team members, for our business partners, but from the customers as well. And this is all as the PDF file. It was actually John Jones, the National Marketing Director from National Marketing Director from Saskatchewan. Then she did. I did some screenshots. She was using them. Then we collaborate, and she did this amazing notes. Then biggest question is why in Canada everything takes so much longer than anywhere else. And it is true, process takes minimum 8 to 10 months in Canada to do any kind of changes on the labels, right? And because every country has the different opinion, different regulations, but Canada officially has the longest period of time. And always when something shows up in the States, we have to be patient, because it's not because Juice Plus company, it's not capable to make it happen in Canada, but because Health Branch Canada is one of the strictest, and it really takes them longest time to approve anything. Okay, and then we will go right away to the questions. Then again, what takes, so usually in Australia, they have similar process, takes there 2 to 3 weeks to make the changes. European Union, 90 days, like the 3 months. And USA doesn't have even that kind of restrictions. Then, as you can see, every country is very different. And we will go more in the details, because we'll be talking about omegas as well. Then here there are some questions about Juice Plus. Then let's jump into it. Why we do have grains in a Juice Plus? Because we have the oat bran and we have brown rice bran. Well, grains that are incredibly healthy. It's gluten-free, but because Health Branch Canada, if they are their oats, they don't allow to actually put on our labels gluten-free. That it means in our green capsules, right? But it has less. We will go to that number, how little of gluten is there. Then again, when actually Juice Plus was created, then I remember it was their barley. And that was removed because that it's not gluten-free, and then really make it so much more possible for the anybody who has any kind of gluten sensitivities, celiac, Crohn's, they can all take Juice Plus. And produce start as the whole product. Then as we go, if they are making the product, then we use the peels, seeds, stems, etc. All goes into the grinder. It's like a Vitamix. Then everything, it stays in it. And then everything is removed except nothing is removed except the water. And this retains all the natural nutrients and smaller nutrients, and we can measure them. and many enzymes, they remain intact. Then we add some whole food-based, naturally occurring nutrients, because the question was why we are adding, where was that question? What we add to the Juice Plus, right? And you see on a label too, like they are add, but it's coming again, it's all plant-based. There are not any man-made, artificially made vitamins or minerals. And then we add some whole food-based, naturally occurring nutrients to the product that we can label. We need that years ago when we began. It's occurred 25 years ago. Then actually Juice Plus this spring will have 25th anniversary, and then will be, hi Megan, there will be at the a conference. It will be big celebration of 25th years of Juice Plus. And there then add nutrients also allow us to stabilize our levels of nutrients, as so much is based on whatever growing year, different sunlight, different irrigation. Not all produce is equal in the nutrients value based on this, so we stabilize. And that is why they are adding these nutrients. We are constantly looking to add more nutrients as long as it fits our whole food-based product. And for example, tocopherol is coming from the sunflower seeds, okay? And now question was, what is our vegan capsule, where it's coming for? Then it's fully vegan and label the same for each product. Tapioca starch, it's it's the thickener there. It's actually, they call it the pululan, which is the binder, and it's natural polysaccharide, which is coming from tapioca starch in a case of our vegan capsules. With the shell, gel processing aid are used to make it stick, such as carrageenan, but some carrageenan has very bad reputation if it's not food grade. And this one we have, it's food grade, not degraded, as that it's in different compound, which you use in other as the carrageenan. Then it's again the highest quality which you can find on the market. Canada is only country we must add all processing aid to our label, despite if they are present in product or not. This is very unique. For example, in the vineyard blend, when they are making vineyard blend, they use soy lecithin because it's used to aid the drying of the berries and keep it off sticking to the dryer. But it's not in a product. But because it's used in a drying process, then Health Canada, we have to put it on a label. Then in the vineyard, it's not soy lecithin, but was used in the drying of the berries, then it has to be on the label. If somebody has a lot of questions and wants all the nitty-gritty things which they are in the capsules. All of the capsules are made from the same tapioca-based food, no matter of the product, okay? Then it's all capsules, including the omegas, they are all vegan capsules. Now questions where these nutrients they are coming from, we're talking about it. There are some from fermentation process, and all are from whole plant-based foods. And then again, if you look, for example, on if you know what I'm talking about, if you look, for example, on a label of Juice Plus fruit, then I'm now looking where they are looking constantly. Bioflavonoids, lutein, lycopene. Yeah, then there are certain nutrients which they are add to it, then it's stabilized, and it's always, we have this in our formula. Capsules are gluten-free. Canada is using gluten-free oats, and that is why gluten-free label can't be, because there are oats there. Even if it's oat bran, and oat bran doesn't have any gluten, it's still made from the oats. then Health Canada doesn't allow us. They are working on it, and they will be replacing it with some more rice bran, but that will probably take again 1 year. How many servings in orchard and garden capsules? People really very often ask this. We won't answer that as a company because we don't want people to think they can take our capsules, and not eat fruits and vegetables. We want them to do so. We don't want to give them the idea, then get the substitute, as it's no substitute to healthy eating. Okay. Also, there is no definition of serving size for powders like there are in raw food, right? That if you take this is the 1 servings, but the powder, it's not serving, right? Then companies making claims on this really are not valid, and we as a company are not comfortable doing this. They are guessing, and this is an assumption, so we don't do that. It's usually ratio 10:1. They use ratio 10:1. It's really not accurate. Too many variables. Juice Plus is the next best thing to the fruits and vegetables. The really key is on our wide variety of produce, being able to include this daily, as we cannot buy them year round, for example, sour cherries and so on. Then they don't really like, then if you say you have 30 different fruits and vegetables, then you can say that the powders from the 30 different fruits and vegetables, right? Now with soft chew, are soft chew alternative to the capsules? Well, the capsules are again next best thing to the fruits and vegetables, and soft chew, how Lisa was explaining it, are next best thing to the capsules. Then even in the children health study, when they asking the questions, they see so much more results when people that are using the capsules. Then if you have somebody on the children health study that kid is starting with the soft chew because they are little, when they are actually approaching age when they can swallow the capsules, encourage parents to switch to the capsules, because they are really it's not comparison. Like they are good, but capsules, they are much better, much more powerful, because it's limited in an amount of powder they can go in the chews due to structure of chew, and then the ratio is a little bit different. We have no published research on just plus soft chewables. Then it's really, you can't do that guarantee that will really happen to people what we can see in the research. The enzymes, the process of this. If you are moving around, can you mute yourself, guys? Because I'm recording it. The enzymes, the process of chewables completely under a little higher heat. Then some enzymes, they are degradable, then they are not present there. And because it's water in the soft chew, then if it's a lot of enzyme, it will actually dissolve themselves. Then it's a little bit, it has less enzymes than it has Juice Plus capsules as well. Yeah, really great product and fantastic way to introduce to Juice Plus, but try to transition to capsule once they get older and they see the benefits of the chew. And then this is again, then again, soft chew, it's not exactly the same thing as the capsules. Are chew gluten-free? Yes, except again for the garden blend in Canada, because it contain oat as the capsules. Again, we are working to the changes in Canada as well. I choose vegan, because it's the beeswax there. Then actually vegan, they can't to eat even honey, right? Then they are working on it to be replaced by the carnauba wax. And Lisa believes the orchard and garden blend in Canada are now shipping. It will be possible to get it soon without the beeswax. And Stephen, he said he will keep us posted when it's the way have that again change on the label. Then that will be different. I really didn't know about it when we have beeswax. Anyhow, vineyard tubes and serving. Serving size labels such as 2 chews versus 4. It was a regulation. Do you know something about it? Like the they can be only eaten like of two a day
2 for kids.
versus four. It was
Up
a
to what, 4 for adults?
yeah, because it was a regulation around green tea, and we had adjusted product. Now it has been reviewed and all good. Again, soy lecithin for the vineyard was used in the processing aid, but in Canada has to be again on the label. Okay.
So what age would they go to age 4? Or go to 4 choose? Like a youth, like a 14, 15-year-old youth would
Yeah,
have?
but usually 13 years old, it's switched to the adult dose. Then even with the children health study, when they are 13 up, they will receive full dose as the adult for children health study. Okay, then it's same with the soft chew, I believe. Now we will be going to the Juice Plus complete product. Any questions around this, what I was talking about? And as I said, I will be sending you this file, then you can have it on the hand. Okay, what is complete and what it's not. Complete is healthy snack alternative to empty calories. Complete, it's not a total meal replacement as is. You can make a meal replacement by adding things to the beverage. Then when we make shakes, right, we are adding to it different things, and because complete doesn't have a fast, and it's why we are using different flax seeds or chia seeds and so on, then you do have the fats, and I will go more in detail about that. Complete is vegetarian, which should be vegan, and shakes are vegan, but bars are not because they have honey in them. Complete is gluten-free, with exception of fruit and seed bar because again oats in them, and it's still like it's the same as in the Juice Plus capsules, the vegetable one. It's less than 2 parts per million of gluten, and it's really such a small amount. Then, as I said, even celiac, they don't have a reaction to it. Why is so much sugar incomplete? Why is no healthy fat incomplete? Where does the fiber it's coming from? Okay, then let's get to the answers. It is a healthy snack alternative to empty calories. Shakes are not total meal replacement, but we make it meal when we make our shakes. Again, with Health Canada, they regulate on what we need to add, so we are able to state that we are not going in that direction. Okay. Complete shakes are vegetarian, but the complete bars are not. No, they are vegan. They are vegan. It's actually on the label. Complete products are gluten-free, with exception to fruit and seed bar, as they contain oats. We already talked about this. Why it's so much sugar? It seems that way because looking at when you look on the table, the reality isn't. It's less sugar than in orange. It's not the amount of our sugar that it's a concern, moreover, the type of sugar. It has to be a healthy sugar, but it's alongside, an orange is balanced with the fiber and nutrients, right? Then it's the low glycemic index, and we know Juice Plus Complete has a very low glycemic index. If you want which glycemic index has, let me know and I will ask Lisa. And if you have any questions about labels and so on, send that question to Dominika at the health office. Why is there no healthy fat in complete shakes? If we add the fat to our shakes, the enzymes eat the fat and it turns rancid in approximately a week. It just doesn't work. Add your own healthy fat as they degrade in company ads, right? Then we can add as you are making shakes, or company must add preservatives. Then they don't want to go that way. They don't want to be adding tons of the preservatives in the complete to protect that fat from the enzymes, right? then it's why it's not fat. And now we have omegas, then you can tell people to take your omegas. Where does fiber it's coming from? It comes from natural sources of plants, fructooligosaccharides. It's better than for the gas issue. And fructooligosaccharides, they are really precursors to the probiotics, and they really, the bacteria, they really love them, right? Then it's like having the probiotics. Our water wash soy protein. Then now about the process of the water washing the soy protein. We take it, we think it's most natural state and do not over process. Then it's like a lot of other companies, they are using different solvent to extract the proteins, and that it's not really very healthy either. The less you process, the better it is, and retain the natural balance of the food. For soy, if you use harsh extraction process to take the protein out, it's why you have everywhere saying don't take protein isolates, because the process which goes through, they literally bleach them, right? You are taking nutrients that help digest and add to the benefits of protein, taking away from it. You will have just the protein, but it doesn't have co-nutrients that work with it. And it adds to the nutrient density. So we want water wash, which takes care of the beans and process at the gentlest and best level to preserve entirely. It is not GMO and from clean farms for our soy, and we just wash with water. Again, Health Branch Canada doesn't recognize this process because it's really pioneering process how to extract soy protein from the it's actually not even extracted. It's like almost like eating whole soy, but they don't recognize it as being washed by water. It's why it's calling soy isolate. Okay, then if you have somebody who is really very legitimate about it and asking like the proteins isolates, they are not good, then here you have now conversation for them. Then they are not using chemical solvents. Now let's go to the omega blends. Any questions regarding completes before we jump on omega? No? Okay. Omega 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. Why we don't have it on the label in Canada? Again, and we will go in the details. Then these are all what it's in omega. Then you have pomegranate, sea, buckthorn berry, tomato seeds oil, sunflower oil, raspberry seed oil, and algae oil. And Health Canada doesn't see benefit of some of these plants, and it's too cutting edge for them. Our labeling is different in Canada, but our formula is the same as in USA. The plants are in the product, but we label as non-medical, unfortunately. Our team is working very hard with Health Canada to convince them and teach them how to change the label, right? And I know they have a lawyer, Just Plus Canada, which is really working now very hard with Health Branch. Vegetarian versus fish omega-3. What do most people, bloggers, scientists refer to the comparing vegetarian and fish omega-3? You will probably get this. I already got this actually from my naturopath, and actually one of the customers, she sees him, and she actually told her she needs to be eating fish omegas because they have DHA and EPA. Then this is now where it's the biggest confusion, because we are using algae oil, which has DHA and EPA. This is actually where fish is getting their omega, DHA, EPA. Fish is not making them, it's getting them from this algae, right? Then we just skip the fish. Then has DHA and EPA, and if you look on the label here, then you see has DHA and EPA, which they are ones which they are most powerful for the brain function, right? And in the structure of every cellular membrane in our body. Then DHA and EPA is absorbed effectively and deposit to brain and eyes and skin and heart health. And ALA, which they are actually, here you have it on the label, alpha linoleic acid, it's not converting well. Then when they have, if you see in any, in a Google, people will be telling you, well, it's not powerful as the fish oil, then now you can not argument, but explain them. They are using actually algae oil, which DHA and EPA in fish it's coming from. But when they tell you, well, how come they are saying if it's from the plant, then omega-3 it's not good quality? Because it's actually ALA form, and it's very hard to be used. From plant, you use like 10%. I think we have here something more about it. Scientists and broker not aware of this. They are not aware with our omega-3. It is from DHA and EPA, and we have great vegetarian source, which is the algae. They always look, scientists and bloggers are not aware of this. They always look at fish, not algae oil. They are not understanding the nonsense. And
Nuances.
Nuances, sorry. Our vegetable source, our vegan vegetarian source is equivalent, if not better, than fish sources. Okay, then here you have the argument if anybody will be asking you. If you will be going and talking to the healthcare professionals, you will have to explain it to them, because they will tell you right away it's not good as the fish oil. And the US label shows the breakdowns of the 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. In Canada, we can't do that because the health branch doesn't recognize that yet. Again, it will be education. We have other DPAs in the omega blend that make up the total of the 1,000 on the label. If people are only looking on the EPA and DHA values and amounts, you really can't compare that with our omegas. We have all the other omegas and nutrients that contribute as well, not just omega-3. It is just like our orchard, garden, and vineyard blend products. As it does show, it's 100% of daily vitamin C, for example, but we have thousands of other nutrients, and our research shows effectiveness because of the synergy versus isolated forms. Then the same thing is now with omegas. Then it will really have to be some education. So when we are replacing fish oils to ours, it is the blend, the variety, and the synergy of the plants. Doctors may prescribe a certain amount to a patient, so have them talk to their doctor about ours. It is different and offers so much more. Okay, and it's vegan, gluten-free, 100% no GMO, kosher, and now working on being NSF certified, and that it's an end with this nice picture of the omega. Then any questions? Okay. Sandra, are you muted?
Okay, the question I had was back to the water, how the soy is being washed with water.
Mm-hmm.
Does it say what part of the U.S. that usually takes place? Is it central, or is it just a variety of different areas that they grow the soy?
That is good. I have no answer to that one.
Okay, so just wonder, because of the concerns that I've heard is the water quality in the U.S. because of so much fracking. They have a lot more fracking oil reserves than we do down there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many, many communities that are affected with their water. So I just wanted to know if there was a certain area that the soy was growing in.
Yeah, I don't have answer. Probably if I watch these videos with the Healthy Living Revolution with Lisa, might be there too, or I can ask her directly.
Okay.
Or Dominique, and she will send it to her. That is a good question. Thank you, Sandra. Any other questions? Okay,
I
then.
just kind of have a reply to Sandra. Just the fact that, as the company Juice Plus works very, very carefully, if you've watched any of the videos of how some of the other produce is grown with Juice Plus, how closely the company works with the farmers who actually make it, everything is tested and checked.
Yeah.
So, if they were going to use, the water washed soy and all that kind of stuff, the soil would be clean. Like, they're not going to grow the produce in dirty soil.
Yeah.
That's, we kind of know that. So, but I mean, yeah, definitely a good question, but, phone them up and ask them. That's a good question.
Yeah.
But just from, knowing everything else, the safety of it, and the standard that the company's already laid down.
Yeah. And and they actually ask for more testing to be done than is necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Then I will stop recording.